After 4 days of discussions, Niue's budget has today been passed in the House of Assembly. Recurrent budget for 2012 to 2013 is $25,754,000. We'll bring you the final report of the budget for 2012 to 2013 next week. Niue Health Department is in talks with Tonga about providing an alternative option to Medivacs. Director of Health Manila Nosa said these are some of the options the hospitals are looking into, but discussions are still taking place. The most important aspect the public should know is that government has confirmed it will assist with any medical evacuation if it happens, and no emergency will be overlooked. Other areas the department are reviewing is the ability of medical staff to assist any emergency that can be aided and patients to be sent to New Zealand by commercial flight. One of the biggest issues discussed and also acknowledged by Honourable Premier Toke Talangi in the House of Assembly this week is the compulsory requirement for all travellers into Niue to acquire medical insurance. This financial year, only one medical evacuation took place. However, the department said they will continue to explore alternatives to ensure assistance is available for all serious emergencies. The discussions between Niue and the Tonga Ministry has not yet finalized. Number of dengue cases over the last 5 months continue to climb just over 70 despite huge awareness campaigns by the Health Department. The dengue outbreak peaked in earlier months, but the dengue cases identified at the hospital is still at an average of 4 cases per week. Last week, 8 dengue cases were confirmed, with 2 admitted into hospital. However, part of the admit cases is due to other ailment contribution. Health officials have sent out another advisory for the public to continue clearance of water containers and clean areas that breed mosquitoes. The dreaded virus has no glimpse of dying out or contained, and the Health Department said people must be vigilant in keeping homes clean. One of the difficult tasks of the hospital is getting people to understand they need to visit the hospital if they're sick or has flu-like symptoms which are familiar to dengue symptoms. The best approach, says the Health Department, is for villagers to work together to assist each other, clean and burn areas likely to breed mosquitoes. If you're not feeling well, please visit the hospital for assistance. 2 business experts arrived from New Zealand to assist with the ongoing development of the private sector and review areas of the labour market. But they also broadened the entrepreneurial space to the high school and expected school leavers. Today we caught up with Claire Nolan and Felicity Bolin at Niue High School. Felicity Bolin, Chief Advisor from the New Zealand Department of Labour, said there are many challenges for businesses here on Niue.
The private sector development plan is currently being reviewed and rewritten. And a part of that is looking at the labour market. And my role in Wellington, in New Zealand for the Department of Labour, I look after the labour market, supply and demand issues for sectors. My role here is working with the Chamber of Commerce. We've been going around the island for the last week interviewing stakeholders, business people and other stakeholders to find out what they see are the constraints to economic growth in this country. No surprises, Niue is a unique island in that it has it's one island. I come from the Cook Islands. We've got 15 islands. We suffer from the same things like depopulation as you do. But we've still got 15,000 people living in the Cooks. You've got 1,400 at the best of times. You've got almost 100% employment. So the labour supply that you have to meet economic growth is really difficult. So our role has been just talking to people, finding out what the constraints are, looking at where the opportunities for growth are, and then we will revitalise the plan and also go back to New Zealand and see if there are things that we can do differently in New Zealand that might be able to help the Niuean government and the Niuean people to grow.
She also said young people must understand the difficulties of finding a job in New Zealand, and there must be a more robust training scheme for them locally.
unfortunately, our young people have limited opportunities if they stay in country. For many of them, a lot of them will leave to go overseas for further education and training. Some will come back, some will not come back. That is just the reality of a population movement in the Pacific. Many of them will go to New Zealand, many of them will go to Australia. One of the things that we're concerned about in New Zealand is making sure that our Pacific people who come to New Zealand, particularly Tokelau, Cooks and Niue, have got the qualifications and skill base that they need to give them a fair and equitable chance in the labour market. So, I wanted to talk to the young people here today to say to them, look, if you are going to come to New Zealand, this is what it's like in our labour market. We are making people redundant. We expect high levels of qualification for even the simplest jobs now. It's not as easy as it was when my father came from the Cook Islands, 50 years ago. So I wanted to make sure that they have a realistic view of what the labour market is in Australasia, so that they can start to make informed choices about how they move forward for their careers. Two things. One is about labour supply and one is about skills. Now, with regards to skills, there is nothing, you've got wonderful people here with great capabilities, and there's nothing to say that there can't be an increased specialised training to upskill people in the sectors where they need to. For example, hospitality and tourism. And you'll know that the Chamber's brought down Adam, who's this wonderful trainer with enormous experience in the hospitality and tourism sector, to work with some of your on customer service this week. It's that kind of thing that we're looking at. We know that the people here are the people here are here to stay. They have a commitment and a dedication to this island. But we also know that there are some skill gaps. And so if we can bring in technical expertise to help upskill without people having to go overseas to get the training, that's got to be an advantage to the country.
Today we also witnessed awards given by His Excellency Mark Blumsky of $100 Swanson vouchers to student Phyllis Akiimo for Best Business Idea, and the Zizzle Boys for the Best Enterprise Idea that will likely succeed on the island. And to end our news bulletin for today, this morning, the island's cultural representatives to the Pacific Festival in the Solomon Islands received more than prayers of blessings as Niue government returned funds paid for airfares for each team member. Leader of the group, Robin Hickow, said he is happy with the assistance from government and want to thank the government for their contribution. The team who showcased their cultural activities on Saturday night will continue with the same theme in the Solomon Islands. It is expected that 5 Niuean representatives will join the local team in the Solomon Islands, but only if they can acquire funding for their trip. Robin said some of the Niuean artists do not wish to be acknowledged as part of the Niue team, but rather as part of the New Zealand group. Niue cultural team will leave the island tomorrow for 1 month to the Solomon Islands. We wish them all the best. And that's our news bulletin for tonight. Good evening.